Once upon a time, two men decided if they were making the cut. Then they made the cut. And now JT and Aaron are talking everything from wrestling to pop culture and beyond, because it's no holds barred.
Will you back down, turn and run, or stand up with the best? When you're back to the wall, what will your answer be? Will you run for the door? Will you run out on me like it's hard?
Oh, hell yeah, son. It's No Holds Barred. Right here on No Holds Barred. The podcast.
The podcast. What is wrong with his voice? Why does he talk that way?
It's all a little raspy. Maybe it's like a tribute to Pillman.
Did he not talk that way before?
I don't know. Anyway, we talk like this. We do it on both video and audio. So check out both audio on all podcast apps. Video right here on YouTube. You can subscribe to both and don't miss a thing because we simulcast. We do different stuff. A lot of WrestleMania content. Count down the greatest WrestleMania performers of all time. We're ranking every WrestleMania match of all time in short format, 1 minute or less on each of those. Aaron, last episode on this tier list, we did WrestleMania themes, the greatest WrestleMania themes. That was a lot of fun. And Chad and I recently reviewed WrestleMania 13. We have a WrestleMania coming up in this project coming up soon. We're going to do our build a card for WrestleMania. So we have so much WrestleMania content at the North South Connection. Subscribe and don't miss anything because it's all really cool. It's the best time of the year.
Build a card is going to be the best. The build a card is going to be so much fun.
We love those. Actually, WrestleMania is one that's it's actually I think one of the easier ones to do sometimes because
because they put guys in matches that aren't for the title. Sometimes.
Yeah, and there's so many matches. Like it's different than some of those shorter cards, that we deal with. So anyway.
But the flip side is you're getting Dino Bravo on your card almost certainly.
Yeah, well, he's dead anyway. So we win in the end. So twice a month, we're doing this project. It's the greatest WWE World Title change ever. We started with the first one, Bruno, and we've all made it all the way here to the end of 2001. We're doing Vengeance 2001 tonight. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Chris Jericho to end the little mini tournament to unify the titles. And Aaron, we grade these matches in a series of 5 categories. Do you want to run those down for us?
Absolutely. So we grade them in terms of match quality, significance, the moment. I don't know why I'm stumbling on this. Build and aftermath. And we each give a score out of 10 in those categories. Gives us a nice round score out of 100. And, so far, our highest one is 94 points. Our lowest one is 16 points. Everything across the gamut. And this is going to be an interesting one tonight because Vengeance 2001 was were you shocked by what happens on this night? Or did you see it coming?
No, not really, because I thought they had kind of given Jericho his moment with No Mercy and all that. And it seemed like they're building to Austin Rock. I mean, that seemed to be right. They're going to end this all. They kind of fought at Survivor Series. We're going to have the one final showdown between Austin and Rock to unify the titles and then head to Mania. So I thought for sure it was going to be Austin beating Rock to unify the belts and head to Mania as champion. So yes, I didn't see this. It definitely feels like a hard reset show. Like Flair's there. Suddenly Vince is back to just being a pure heel. Austin's a face again. Angle's the heel. They really kind of redraw a lot of the lines.
Do you think they knew at this point the NWO was coming in?
No. I think they really panicked to hire them. I don't think it's like anything they had planned really.
Because if the NWO is not coming in, not to get too far ahead, but it's like, what are you doing with Austin after this then? Like, what's your plan for Austin at Mania? Like,
I don't know. They were probably still trying to figure some of that out. I mean, maybe they still planned Austin Rock on some level. Maybe they were going to go to that. I mean, we've talked about it endlessly that Austin RVD should have been the Mania main event. To me, that's
or at least Austin Angle.
Right, or Austin Angle, yeah, or the guy that got the biggest pop at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
That's the guy I should have been.
He's still wrestling. That motherfucker's still wrestling.
Still over. All right,
Sting's
we're on the cock.
And he's not.
We're on the cock. Well, Sting did start before him. We're at 222.26. Chris Jericho has a beautiful look of gasp on his face. He's like, because the glass is breaking behind him. Actually, I'm going to take a picture of this because it's really like a beautifully framed shot. You got the Austin Titantron behind him. and he's like got this look of like amazement on his face.
But like, does he not know what's about to happen? He looks so shocked.
It's amazing. All right, so this is the final of the Tri tournament they did, right? So Austin defeated Angle, Jericho upset The Rock, and we are here now for the final match of the night. So we're going to count it down to hit play in 3, 2, 1, play.
What do you think of the pacing of this and having the match immediately follow, as opposed to putting Rock Jericho earlier in the night?
Yeah, it's a little unfair, I'd say, to Jericho, having to go back to back. I think they're going to maybe put one buffer match in between. But I do like this because, in a way, on the paper, it's really unfair to Jericho. But it does make him look better, I guess, to beat them both back to back. And he's the guy that had to go back to back.
Right. Well, it doesn't, because, like, on one hand, you're right. But on the other hand, like, he's not exactly going to win fair. Right. So,
well, that's a different topic. But I'm saying, in theory,
already.
Oh, yeah, he's out immediately to attack Austin.
Yeah.
Do you think they built this mini tournament well? Like, I hate it. I think they rushed the unification. Now, this is another thing they could have saved from Mania. Do the fucking title unification at WrestleMania. Like, why are we doing it here? There was such a rush to bury the invasion and put it out of their minds forever that they do all this stupid shit. Rock's out, so I guess to try to level it out, right, for both Rock and Angle and Fear. So both guys.
It was leveled out. It was leveled out when Kurt participated.
Right.
Now
Rock is even more washed. Yeah,
balanced it right, and now Rock's going to chase Angle out. Yeah, I don't understand why they did this here. I guess they thought the invasion was a massive failure, and we got to do something big. Like, that's the only thing I can think, because December, they usually don't give a shit about the pay-per-view, right?
Right. Yeah, no, it's usually a throwaway. This is one of the ones I'd say they probably put the most hype behind. I think, here we go again with the wall. A week later, it's still making that noise.
Mm-hmm. Oh, shit. Okay.
All right, while he's doing that, we're barely just starting this match. Jericho and Austin are both laid out. Jericho sits up first and goes to the pin. What did you think of Jericho's red hair in the ponytail?
I was never a big fan of that.
I think it looks stupid. I think it makes him look kind of lame.
Yeah, I agree. I went through a period where I was like, should I start dyeing the tips of my hair red? Like,
well, to do it like right before his biggest, most legitimate push is the worst part. Like, I could see if he does it during a downtime, you know what I mean? But to do it when you're like finally being pushed legitimately, it just like looks kind of goofy.
Right. Yes, I would agree. This is such a weird, like, I find here until like 2005, such a weird Jericho era.
Yeah.
Like, I'd argue this is his worst era.
Yeah.
Like, of maybe his whole career.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not against that statement.
There's just something that's not clicking for whatever reason. Yeah. Like, and I can't tell what it is. I don't know what it is or why.
The noise or Jericho?
Oh, the noise, I figured out what it was.
What is it?
It's my fucking power bar about to explode.
I was going to say that. That sounded like it was like a surge protector kind of noise, like popping.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was. Here, I'm trying to back on now.
You should get a new one.
Yeah, I'm going to. But all that to be said, yeah, it just feels like such a weird era for him. Like, it's like he hasn't, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, because he's not a main eventer yet, and they push him into that position, and it's weird. It's weird.
It's like a try-hard era, too. Like, yeah, he almost feels like when you lose your confidence, but you're still talented enough to kind of get by, but you just thought, like, you feel like you've lost what makes you, you. Jericho felt like it was almost beaten out of him so much in 2000 that they were trying to reshape him into the WWF style, right? And all that. Like, so by the time it's almost what happens to RVD as well, sadly. They beat out so much of the originality that you almost become like just kind of a ghost of yourself for a bit. And it seems like he doesn't really find himself till he comes back. And even then, he's still kind of figuring it out until the Shawn.
Yeah, it's like, it's funny. Like, his heel character is not a strong enough heel character to be a world champion.
No.
Like, it's funny because I think when he wins the belt from Triple H on Raw, like, I think that's more legit than anything he does as champion.
all of 2000, he feels way more legit than he does in 2001. Even that match with Triple H at Fully Loaded, his match with Benoit at SummerSlam feels like a big time match. And I would say his up until the Rumble 01, I feel like after that he really struggles.
Yeah, I wonder if it's because by the time he gets to WrestleMania 17, he's in the exact same position he is the year before. Like in terms of he's fighting for the Intercontinental belt or European belt, like there's no forward progress with him throughout that year. Like it feels coming back to the same place, but he's such a talented guy that it's weird that he's in that same place. Like,
yeah.
Or maybe it's him. Maybe he gets exposed. Maybe he's just with the wrong opponents. Because I'm saying this now, but like I remember by King of the Ring, I thought he was legit too.
Yeah, 2000 or
no, 2001. When
you're right. Yeah.
That whole run is great. It's after that run and into the Invasion where he's fighting Rhino and I don't know. Like, do you think that this match and this moment is hurt by him having already won the big one?
No, because he wins the WWF title, which is the bigger deal in this construct. He had only won the WCW belt from Rock. I think beating Austin to win the WWF title cements him. But I think the unified title actually makes it seem worse. The name of it. They should have just eliminated the WCW title and just made it the WWF title still. As we'll see, the end, I think, doesn't help him. And then the angle, the Rock feud is fine into the Rumble, but post-Rumble is a disaster for him.
Yeah. Like, look, I'm going to say something kind of egregious for me in that he is less ready here to be world champion than Triple H was in 1999.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But by far, I don't even know if Triple H is ready in 1999 to be the champion, but Jericho is. It's like they pick the worst possible time and then blame him for what happened.
Well, they do it a lot of guys. We've talked about it. They continuously wait too long, and I get 2000. The Rock was so over. I get it. RVD is a lot less defensible. How hot he was in 01, but we just see it time and again with them.
And that's the other thing. That's the thing is that RVD here is Jericho the year before.
Yeah.
He's the guy who makes sense here. Jericho doesn't make sense here. It's like they de-push RVD.
Right. What they should have done is Austin should have beaten Rock here to unify the belts, keep it as the WWF title. RVD wins the Rumble, and beats Austin at Mania. Triple H returns at the Rumble, has this big moment, but Angle sneak attacks him and eliminates him. You do Triple H Angle to pay off their feud, longtime feud at WrestleMania, and you go from there.
There's so much you could do with Triple H. Look, you could do Triple H Jericho not for the belt and be like Jericho's the one.
But they didn't need to be. They didn't need to be. Yeah, I guess.
Or you could do Triple H against Scott Hall. He could be in the NWO stuff.
Yeah, but I think Triple H Angle, Austin, RVD, and Hogan Rock is like a great top three. And then Taker Flair fourth.
Yeah.
Or do Vince Flair if you want to save it and do Taker something else. But
yeah. I don't know. I've always kind of romanticized. I like the idea of like Triple H and X-Pac fighting Hall and Nash.
Yeah, I mean, that could have been fine too.
Yeah.
This match has been fine. I mean, they try and do the walls. Position. Right. And they try and do the walls on the table to call back to May.
Right. Hebner is the most incompetent ref I've ever seen. Like his head is right beside Jericho's feet, which are on the ropes. Like
how's he missing
it's literally right beside. Like something I was thinking about with Hebner. How many concussions do you think this man has had?
Probably quite a few.
He gets knocked out every match.
Yes, but realistically, he probably has a lot too.
Yes,
I'm sure we don't really hear about enough about the refs, but they got to get their heads got to get banged around quite a bit, I would think.
Well, yeah, but I would imagine too with them, they're not. I'm sure a lot of them are trained wrestlers, right? But they're not bumping every night.
No. So I mean, Jericho's pretty much controlled this the whole way.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But to your point, it doesn't feel like a main event guy. And even to the point of WrestleMania, which still is what confounds me as to why they didn't close with Hogan and Rock, is that I get it's Triple H's return, but Jericho, I know, but Jericho doesn't feel like a WrestleMania main eventer at that point.
No,
and I feel Right. It feels crazy to argue against it because it's all everyone wanted for a while, right? And they finally did what people wanted was make a new guy, but they don't really make him. They just he's a Roddy Garvin. He's basically Roddy Garvin 87. I mean, is what they do with him.
He's worse because Ronnie Garvin was a face that people wanted to cheer. This is the guy we want to cheer. We're forced to boo him against the guy we're supposed to hate, Triple H. They make him kill Triple H's dog. Like, I mean, we're talking about that next time.
They lose their way.
Look,
and what doesn't help is the lazy walls that he starts doing. I know guys are bigger than the cruiserweights he was always fighting, but like at least do a little bit more than this lame ass crab, Boston Crab. Like, how is this hurting? It drives me nuts.
Yeah, I hate it too. He figured out later that he needed the Code Breaker or in AEW the Judas Effect, and both of those are fine finishers. Like this,
but it's not even just him. The proliferation of lazy sharpshooters and Boston Crabs drives me insane. Where the guy's leaning forward, like, is no way does that hurt. Like Rick Martel used to sink that motherfucker in so deep on that Boston Crab.
Or when Rusev gives the camel clutch to Kalisto and he bends him in half.
Like, give me that.
Yeah.
What's this shit?
If they had like, so up until Survivor Series, Jericho's still a face pretty much. Like, he's kind of in between.
Nah, he's a little tweenery after Unforgiven, but yes.
He's tweenery, but if they actually wanted to make him, if they just put him over both these guys, like, it would have worked.
It's like,
I think then like if he actually beats both of them clean, why not? Right? Or semi-clean, you know?
Right.
Like, already he's low blowing.
Well, even that ref bump was brutal. Like, Jericho jumped a fucking mile to hit him.
I know. And Jericho just delivered a terrible Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah. That's more on Austin. He doesn't know how to take it. He knows how to give it, not take it. You know how to give the stunner. You know how to take the stunner. Anyone can give a stunner. All right, here comes Vince. Nick Patrick.
Nick Patrick. Is he still doing the evil ref?
Well, he was an alliance ref, and then he ends up, Vince, I think, brings him in as like his lackey ref.
Oh, yeah, and there's Flair with the leather coat. I like leather coat, Flair.
Great punch to Patrick.
Yeah.
We're in the final days of Flair looking kind of young.
Yeah, looking young. What is he, like a crisp 46 years old here?
Yeah, I mean, that's main event age right now.
It's crazy, eh?
Well, and now Vince just like made him look like a bitch.
Yeah.
Just posted him, threw him away like a piece of trash.
I don't like Austin low-blowing Jericho.
No. And I didn't like going back to Austin McMahon. I know they were desperate because the ratings were slipping, so they went back to what they know, but it was like, we're really going back
do you think it's just instinct for Austin? Like, he sees Vince, he's got to attack him?
Stomping the shit out of him. It was a great attack.
Yeah.
But I know it's crazy because Austin Vince was great over the summer with the hugging and all that, but it feels like going back to 99 Austin Vince is like, all right.
No.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, I don't really understand.
Oh, I will say Austin, the ratings were sinking and they were desperate to go back, so they went back to it.
Austin's offense looks so good. Like the Fez press into the elbow drop. It's so crisp and strong. This is like, we talked about this. It's his best in-ring year in WWF, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, this is just, months from some of his best work ever. So I know it seems like a little bit of a step down, but.
And see, he puts him in the
that's a great Boston Crab. That's a great.
Oh, he's just leaning on his back. No,
that's
shit,
how you do
Jericho. It. Yeah.
Yeah, now he's doing a real lion tamer. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is the guy's got a broken back and he's still doing that shit. Jericho's been tapping for 5 minutes, and here's Booker.
Mm-hmm.
I remember thinking this is weird too. Why is this happening? Like,
well, he had been gone, I think, since Survivor Series as well, right?
Yeah.
Or had they already done the supermarket stuff? Was that after this? That's after this, I think, right?
It's after, I think.
This starts Austin Booker.
Yeah, but that's
but that could have been a Mania match too, if you're not going to have Austin in the main event. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have them feud right till Mania.
Yeah, that'd be fine. But Jen, you'd have to put Booker over sometimes. Like, you'd have to actually get the best of Austin. Super slow count from Hebner.
And that's it. So he wins thanks to Booker and Vince.
Why
Vince suddenly with Jericho? I mean, I get Jericho tried to help him. Oh no, he tried to screw him in the invasion, right? So why is all of a sudden is this boy? I don't know. This whole thing is a club. None of it makes sense. Yeah, the match was good, not great.
Yeah,
but even this, it's like it's Jericho's moment, and what are we doing? We're like It's Vince laughing on the ramp.
And Austin and Booker. And I'm sure they're talking. I'm not listening to it, but I'm sure they're talking about Booker T right now.
Yeah. And it's like we keep showing Vince instead of Jericho. I don't know.
Yeah. Jericho's in the Titantron above Vince.
Yeah, it's all right. Let's grade this shit. All right, match quality. I'll go 6. I think it's a 3.25, but
I have it at 3, but it feels like less. Like I'm gonna go 6 also just to stay consistent.
I think it's
significance.
I mean, Jericho unifies the titles. Jericho's big win. He crows on this forever about beating Austin and Rock in one night. So we don't really factor in aftermath as much. It's more about kind of his reign. It's his first big WWF World Title reign. So I think it means something.
I'm not going higher than 5.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
The moment, I don't think it's a good moment.
No, 3. I mean, Booker
3.
helps him win. He's standing with Vince. It makes no sense.
It's all about Vince.
The confetti's cool, I guess, but like, Jericho feels like the 4th most important person of what just happened, behind Austin, Booker, and Vince.
You could even argue behind Rock and Angle, who interfered.
Yeah,
like you could argue it. Like the build. So this is a hard one because I thought about this and I was like, oh, it's him throughout like the previous 4 months. This is why I asked you earlier, like, if him winning, because his whole thing was he could never win the big one, right?
Yeah.
But then he did win. He did beat Rock for the championship, right? And then he bounced it back. So it's not his first world title win. I know it's his first WWF, which means more, but
well, you have the fallout as well from the alliance, the invasion with Vince turning, Austin turning. That's all part of the build to this, with Vince building the mini tournament, kind of aligning Jericho and Angle as his boys. Because it's our first title match since Austin Angle. So you got to factor in the kind of the build to Survivor Series as well as part of it. Jericho kind of, almost screws Team WWF. So I don't know, there's enough there.
But that's also like, it doesn't make any sense. Like I need the build to make some sense, because like it'd be one thing if at the end of Survivor Series, Vince was like, okay, Angle and The Rock are my guys. I don't get along with The Rock. He's WWF through and through and, whatever. Yeah. And those were his guys going. Or Jericho tried to fuck him the night before. Like it doesn't make any sense.
It feels very middling to me. It's got some stuff that works to me, but it's also some stuff here, like you said.
I'm going 3. I really don't like it. The build.
Aftermath to me is like a 2. I mean, he's booked like a pussy. The title reign is terrible. I'm
going lower.
Looks like a clown. Well, I think he's okay building up to the Rumble to fight Rock. Like I think he's okay there. Post that is where he gets shaky. And he does beat Rock again on his own at the Rumble.
Yeah, but he cheats like crazy. Like,
yeah, but he's a heel. I'm all right with him cheating as long as he's not getting help. Like he does it himself.
Yeah.
He's a chicken shit heel. He should be cheating.
Oh, I agree in general. I don't know. I find the whole thing as someone too, at the time, I was a big Chris Jericho fan. Like, I loved him when he came into promotion. I was happy he won this night. Like at the time, I was like, oh, great. They're finally doing it. Now looking back, this is where I can see it kind of nothing makes sense.
Well, this is where stuff starts turning on him. Like it's that King of the Ring match with RVD is when he loses it online and all that. Like he has that bad Hell in a Cell with Triple H. Like this is a real bad stretch for him. He kind of figures that out again when they put him with Christian. I think is when he starts to turn the ship around a little bit, and then the Shawn feud helps him. But this was a real bad year for him.
When they take him out of the main event is when he actually succeeds.
Yeah.
Like, which I mean, again, goes to show that like maybe he didn't belong there to begin with, right?
Yeah.
But that's going to give us a score of 39, and that, my friend, is tied with a bunch of others, which I am now trying to move around here slowly but surely.
Well, what do we tie break with? Significance.
So it's the highest of anything in terms of significance. So it's going to be the top of the 39s. Sorry, I keep leaning forward here. So it's going to finish at 48th overall. 39 points.
63. So yeah, back quarter.
Yeah. 1 point behind Bret Hart versus Psycho Sid from Monday Night Raw 97. and it's tied with Morales Ivan Koloff.
Yeah, we
Vince
have to throw
McMahon-
that one out. That like doesn't even count because we just kind of guessed.
Yeah, I know. Vince McMahon, Triple H, Randy Savage, Ric Flair. So the one where Flair wins the belt back from Savage.
Right.
So, yeah, makes sense. If you'd asked me before, this is kind of where I thought it would be.
Yeah,
Nothing
back end.
really surprising.
Yeah. All right. You want to read our top 10?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Number 10 all time, Mankind versus The Rock on the January 4th, 1999 Raw with 72 points.
Very good. Number 9, Steve Austin, The Rock, WrestleMania 15 with 73 points.
Number 8, Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant from the main event, February 1988 with 75 points.
Number 7, Hulk Hogan versus the Iron Sheik, MSG 84 with 76 points.
Steve Austin versus Kurt Angle is our 6th best match of all time from Unforgiven 2001 with 77 points.
That's a surprising one, but I love it. Number 5 is the 1992 Royal Rumble, in which Ric Flair wins the WWF Championship with 78 points.
Steve Austin versus The Rock at WrestleMania 17 is our 4th best match of all time, and that is at 85 points.
Very good. Number 3, Bret Hart versus The Undertaker from SummerSlam 97, 90 points.
Our 2nd best title change of all time, Steve Austin versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 14 with 93 points.
And hanging tight on the championship crown, the number 1 WWF title change of all time to this point, Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, Survivor Series 97 with 94 points.
All right, there you have it. It's our top 10 to date. We'll be back in 2 weeks doing this project. We'll be doing WrestleMania 18. So more Chris Jericho rants, I'm sure, coming with some Triple H magic mixed in. So we'll talk about that. Next week, we'll be back with our Ultimate WrestleMania card, build a card. That's always a lot of fun. We'll get into that. And then we'll just continue on this trek. So be sure to subscribe and stay with us. You don't want to miss any of this. We got a lot of cool stuff coming for you. Like I said, WrestleMania season's a great time at the North-South Connection. So just get subbed in, share us around, comment, like us. Don't miss any of this because we want to have you with us for this ride that we're taking through WrestleMania season at the North-South Connection. Dookie's been dropped. We'll talk to you next week. Take care.
Bye, Jackass.